Today, I want to talk about the idea of being stuck in place. What happens when we can't seem to break the patterns of what we've been doing, and how do we fix it? If you're a computer, you just restart your system. It usually fixes the problem, and if it comes to the worst case scenario, you defrag it or you just replace it. It's easy to move on to something like that. But we're humans, we're not machines. What do we do? What can we do? A lot of people like to jump in and think about habits, routines, nutrition, exercise, and don't get me wrong, all of those are really good. But even if you get into this idea of creating this routine, this structure in your life, there's a pretty good chance you're going to repeat the same patterns because our bodies are built to continue to do the same things over and over because it's safe, it's comfortable, it's familiar. It's the path of least resistance. And because of that, we just going to want to keep going down that same path, regardless if it's good or not. We can be consciously aware that we're not on the right path, but until we have a breakthrough, we're going to continue to do it. And that's kind of what happened to me because in the past couple of years, I was going down the same path. I said my story. I have had 7 jobs in finance and accounting in 12 years post-college. That's a lot. And I could never figure out what exactly it was that was going on with me that made me feel so uncomfortable, itching for something new, but then quitting my job, going to something basically the same thing, just wrapped a little bit differently, and wondering why I was never happy. Well, I need to do a little bit of an internal focus on myself, learn about myself, learn about my personality, how do I fit into this world, and what I realized is that I was letting the people around me decide for me who I was. So growing up, I was really good at math. I did really well in the ACTs. I did math competitions, and I got second in regionals, which is just a really nerdy way to say that it came second nature to me. So because of that, everyone thought, hey, your mom's an accountant. You're going to be a good accountant. And I thought so too. But I wasn't. And I didn't really understand why until I kind of looked and saw how my mom's boss had primed me to understand what accounting and the job looked like, and I was just wrong. He was charismatic. He was outgoing. He had it all in my mind because he was doing so well for himself, and my mom spoke so highly of him, and it was always fun to go on his boat. I wanted to do that. I wanted to be that person. I thought I could, but I couldn't get past this idea of I'm not really that detail oriented when that's really the biggest structure around accounting, you know? So how did I get myself into this? Sorry, I got introduced to ketamine, which is a psychedelic drug. It's not technically a psychedelic, but it's an anesthetic that creates this internal state of being. I did it through a company called Mind Bloom, and it just opened up my mind. I started to remember how much I love people, learning about people, and it just changed my world. And that was a couple years ago. And so I really tried to instill all those values that into my life, being that person, that supporting person, being very much the empathetic person within my job. But I was still in finance. But I was still in the same job. And I didn't have any way to really implement that into every other aspect of my life. I was in a relationship that was not going so well at the time, and I was stuck. I was in a foreign location in California when all of my family and friends were back here in Iowa. And it was tough. It was very tough on me. And so I found myself going down the same route. I ended up losing my job in May of last year, and then my relationship ended in early August, late July, and I moved back to Iowa 1 year ago over this weekend. So Labor Day will always be the moment of change and new beginnings. It's weird because it's always the same, kind of like in the school year. It's that idea that, okay, the fall semester is coming in, you have these new opportunities to meet new people, learn new things, and I always had such a good experience with it. But this August, I was down. I had no idea what I was doing. I thought that I could create this program implement it, get a bunch of people on board because I was excited about it. And don't get me wrong, there were a few people that were excited about it too, but I was not good at the messaging for it. So I struggled and it just weighed on me and I couldn't do anything to fix that problem. So I decided to go on a couple journeys over the weekend just to really reset my frame of reference, figure out where I'm at, where I want to be, what does life mean for me and the people that are around me. And it was amazing. First, I addressed my work problems with my new boss, who, again, I'm still in finance. 3 years ago, I was a director of finance in Des Moines. Now I am the finance director in Des Moines. What the hell? How did that happen, right? Two different companies, but still the same role. But regardless, I decided to address some of the issues that I was having with my boss. I saw myself as an empathetic person. I was seeing the fear in her eyes because she's new and trying to make these things work in such a short amount of time while I'm getting a lot of resistance in myself and my team. So what does that look like? How do I get past some of these things? How do I work towards a better solution for all of it? Yeah, I got a few ideas that I'm going to test out this next week. So stay tuned for that. Then I addressed some of the relationship things that I was going through. Why am I struggling to make those connections, those deep, meaningful connections? And part of it is because I'm in the Maslow's hierarchy of needs, and my needs for safety need to be met before I can move on to the next level of love and belonging. I was trying hard for so long, and I still am safe, don't get me wrong. I have everything going on. It's just that it would be more comfortable to be in a better spot. And I'm working towards it. I'm just exhausted. And then thirdly, I just asked, what is my purpose on this world? You know, after seeing some of those things, becoming this certified life coach, working through all of these little areas of my life to bring the most value to everyone, where do I fit in? And what I found is that I'm much more of a support person. I'm a hype person. I'm like very excited to learn about you, build you up, help you work through some of the problems and create, interesting, different, adaptive solutions that will be able to get you to from where you are to where you want to be. And during that time, I started to visualize everything that was going on around me. It was really strange because I saw all of the patterns. I saw life and the conflict of people and war and basically how, trees talk to each other underground. I saw all of that, and seeing how we're all so interconnected, it's hard not to find love for anybody and everybody. We just have different ways to look at it. We have different viewpoints, but it was mind-blowing. And then, weirdly enough, to end the entire journey, I thought I died. That was wild. I was in this state of mind that I couldn't come out of where I was at. It was so vivid. It was so emotional. It was empty. I had nothing. I was like, oh, I guess this is it. And I felt comfortable. I said, well, I wished my parents and my family the best. And as sad as that sounded, I just went off into space. That was how I saw the end of life. Was time just stopped. It just got suspended, and I just stayed in this state of mind for what was eternity until I came out of it. And I was like, wow. Anyway, that was extremely powerful. So with all that being said, I did a defrag on my brain because today I feel ridiculously good. I feel comfortable. The fact that I'm saying all this stuff to you guys right now is just proof in itself. My headaches are gone. I mean, obviously it'll probably come back eventually, but I am going to try to approach this life with the wonder and awe that I know that we all have as children, bring it back out, be that person, support the people that I love and want to work with the most, be that person that can continue to bring the authenticity and don't deviate from what that is, because I had done it for so long and I was so out of alignment that it just bled into every aspect of my life. So, with that, thank you for listening to all of it. I'm hoping to do more of these down the road. This was just something that I was just eye opening for me, and I I would suggest it to anybody who is really stuck in their mind, and if they're open to it, talk to me, talk to people that you might know that are in the sphere. I have resources as well. I haven't done it all, but I have knowledge and I've been trained in it as well. So, with that, I'm logging off. Love you guys. I hope you're taking care of yourself. That is definitely stolen from Heidi Pre, but I love her stuff. If you haven't checked her out, do it. But yeah, I hope everyone has a safe and wonderful Labor Day weekend, and we will hopefully be back soon.